My boyfriend, 26M, said we're done if I, 26F, move to NYC for my job that I commute to every day. Is it bad if I still move anyway? My boyfriend, 26M, and I, 26F, have been dating for about 6 months. A couple of months ago, I got a job in NYC, while he's been unemployed for about 7 months. I commute into the city every day, and while the train ride itself isn't awful, the time, cost, and overall exhaustion are really starting to wear on me. Living in the city would make my life significantly easier. My lease ends in a couple months, and one of my best friends from home, we've been close for 15 years, has also been planning to move to NYC, so we decided to get a place together. She's single, social, and enjoys going out, which feels pretty normal for people in their mid to late 20s. My boyfriend keeps saying that since we're almost 30, we should be settling down and be done with going out. He's also told me that if I keep going out, I'll never find my husband. For context, I have a close group of girlfriends and always have. I used to go out more, but now it's usually just drinks once or twice a week, nothing extreme. I'm really conflicted. If I stay where I am, it's not like my boyfriend, and I would be moving in together anyway. He lives with his parents and doesn't currently have the money to get his own place. Staying would basically just mean we don't break up. If I move to the city, he insists that I'll be out until 4 a.m. every night partying and hanging out with guys because of my roommate, even though I've repeatedly said that's not who I am and not what I want. He doesn't believe me and has openly said he doesn't trust me, that even though I've never cheated on him, nor have come close to doing so. I've even offered for him to move with me and continue applying for jobs in NYC, but he said no because he doesn't want to live there. I feel really stuck and unsure how to handle this situation. I genuinely do love him, but I also feel as though this is the only time in my life where I could move to the city, as I'm not tied down to anything except for him. Any advice, perspectives, or personal experiences would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for reading. Too long did not read. I work in NYC and want to move there with my longtime best friend when my lease ends. My unemployed boyfriend of 6 months says moving will turn me into a party girl, doesn't trust me, and believes we're too old to go out at all. He refuses to move with me. I'm torn between doing what makes sense for my life and preserving the relationship. He sounds like a jealous loser. Him also telling you that you'll never find your husband is his projection how he doesn't see you as marriage material. Girl ID move TF on. Bottom line, sounds like that man is projecting his insecurities. I'd recommended focusing on your career. My boyfriend keeps saying that since we're almost 30, we should be settling down and be done with going out. He's also told me that if I keep going out, I'll never find my husband. Why would you date anyone who says drivel like that? GF, 30F, stills holds grudges from 6 years ago and uses it against me, 30M. How do we progress? We've been together 6 years and some change, so these are issues from when we first got together. We got together when I came home from my first deployment. When we first started dating, I was not a good partner. I've fully realized that and tried to make amends for it for years. Anytime we have a minor disagreement, she'll bring up things from 2019/2020. No cheating, I just wasn't responsible enough. When we first started dating, I wasn't emotionally mature enough to be in a relationship. I cared more about drinking and partying than dating. I would choose a night out at the bars over meeting her friends. I've taken full responsibility for how I behaved when I was 23. I've completely changed since then. I don't associate with those friends anymore. I don't go out to the bars. I rarely drink anymore, just the occasional social situations. Anytime we have a minor disagreement, she'll bring up these things from the beginning of our relationship. When we're unsure of our future, she'll use it as evidence for why we're not progressing. She doesn't want to do therapy. She doesn't see anything wrong with holding these grudges. She's also cut off several of her friends for various petty reasons. What do? If we discuss it, she just reminds me that I'm the villain. At 30, I'm a completely different person than I was then, but she refuses to see it. Therapy. You can't change the past. If she can't get over it herself in 6 years, then she will never get over it, or she needs professional help. She's not over what happened, and she shouldn't still be bringing this up. Sit her down and really let her know that she can't keep bringing up old you because you've changed, but also it's been 6 years. Yeah, they'll do that. My 39 female, fiancé 40 male, didn't do anything for Valentine's Day. What could I have done differently? We have a somewhat long-distance relationship. I WFH and have my kids 50% off the time. On my off weeks, I drive the 2 hours to him, where he lives with his 17-years-old daughter. It's my home, too, that we rented it together. He doesn't often drive to me because he works long, irregular hours. Also, he has 2 dogs that need attention and care. Anyway, he made plans several weeks ago to come over for V-Day and stay the night since I had my kids. It was just going to be low-key. I put in a pizza order for a nice place and got him a few treats. Had some cute decorations and desserts here that my kids also got to enjoy. Nothing crazy, but I was looking forward to it. Then, the morning of, he said that his daughter wanted to spend the night at his ex-sister-in-law's house, her ex-step-aunt, who she's still close with, and that he could still come over, but he would have to leave after a few HRS to go back and take care of the dogs. I expressed disappointment, and he suggested rescheduling for Tuesday. I told him Tuesday wasn't great because I'd be in mom and work mode, but that it was his decision, and he chose to reschedule. The thing is, last year he went over the top. This year, not even a phone call. In fact, he didn't reach out the rest of the day. I feel like an afterthought that I am pretty confident he chose to stay home alone when he found out his daughter wouldn't be home instead of making the effort to come to me. I don't know how to feel, really. It was important to me that I feel very let down. We're not talking today, have not addressed it, and I don't even know how to break the silence at this point. Wait for him to approach you, and when he does, let him know you are disappointed. Sounds like being that you both have children and he has dogs, maybe there's too little time to be traveling to see a boyfriend or girlfriend. You should put the time into your individual families instead. Question: were you engaged last Valentine's Day yet? How to handle the loss of losing a good friend. M25 F30. This is about a work colleague that I was romantically interested in, F30, and myself, M25. I was romantically interested in a work colleague of mine, who I got along very well with. For a little bit of context, her and I met at work, obviously, but we only started talking to each other until after she accidentally hit my personal vehicle with a company vehicle in the parking lot. We started talking, and I found that her and I got along very well. The conversations flowed naturally, and there definitely was a strong connection. Even though her and I had opposite interests, the conversations lasted a long time. I will say she has a very bubbly personality, and she is a genuinely kind person. However, I'm not completely oblivious when someone is actively flirting with me. So fast forward a few months, she announced to everyone that she will be turning in her 2 weeks to go work at a new job and move out of town. The place she moved to is actually where I live. I do a daily 45-ish minute commute to work. So eventually I work up the courage to ask her if she'd like to stay in touch and grab some coffee or hang out sometime after she leaves. She agrees, however she mentions that she has a boyfriend. She had never mentioned this before, so naturally it confuses me, but regardless she gives me her number, and I leave the conversation at that. Eventually we start to make plans to hang out with each other, but then she texts me, "I really appreciate getting to know you, but I feel that things can look complicated in regards to female and male friendships. I think remaining friends on a personal level will be complicated. It's been really nice getting to know you, but I think out of respect for all of us some boundaries need to be put in place." Note: she sends me this after telling me in person, after I asked her to hang out, that it's not inappropriate for friends to hang out or keep in touch. After I just simply text her that I of course am more than willing to respect her boundaries and there will be no issue there. If she ever needs anything or needs someone to talk to, I'm only one call away. And haven't talked to her since. This happened on Thursday. For me it really sucks because I would have loved to date her, but I'm not the type to interject someone else's relationship. And I really wanted to maintain our friendship because she's the type of person you want as a friend. I'm really struggling with the idea of potentially never being able to see her again because I really care about her. The pain I feel is a lot more different than previous pain I've felt with when it comes to rejection I've had previously. Is it natural to feel this way, or am I just being salty? NGL, when I read the title and saw the thing about her hitting your car, I thought this was going to be more of a tragic story than it actually is. LOL.